Hello and welcome to We Are All Stories, a Doctor Who podcast. I am Tess Green and I will be leading these podcasts for you. This is just the intro, of course, as I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit before jumping right into the podcast. So let's start with a little bit of background about me. Who is Tess Green? Well, I grew up in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I've worked many a job, mostly customer service and sales and marketing kind of jobs, which is loads of fun. And then I have a bunch of hobbies. I love to do almost everything under the sun. I love to try it at least once. I, read, sew, knit, watch TV, bake, paint. That's a little bit about me. I'm 28 now, which makes me feel really old, but everybody else around me laughs at me and says I'm super young. So that's always entertaining. I love where I live. I love Canada, and I encourage you guys all to come visit. It's just so beautiful here, and I can't help be amazed by the beauty of wonderful Canada and wonderful British Columbia. We are called beautiful British Columbia, if you didn't know that. So come visit. Well, maybe I'll start talking to you about why I love Doctor Who. Doctor Who for me is a kind of recent love. I fell into it a couple years ago. I was out with a friend and they suggested Doctor Who, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'll watch this show with you. I like nerdy things, and I do. And I watched Amelia Pond's first episode, so Series 5, Episode 1, and fell in love with it, and then I was hooked. I had to watch the whole thing. And thankfully, back in those days, it was all on Netflix, so super easy to get a hold of. Whereas now, I must suffer and buy all of the DVDs, which is not really suffering that much. But yes, so I fell in love with it. Since then, have been utterly, utterly obsessed. It has been my Halloween costume. I was with a friend. We were both Osgood, which is hilarious. We made this scarf, obviously, because we had to make the however long 12-foot scarf, which took forever. And she Snapchatted me saying okay, this is how far I've gotten. And I was like, oh no, I'm so far behind. So I spent the weeks up to Halloween crocheting at dinner, crocheting at the pub, crocheting everywhere I went to get this thing done. And then I show up on the Halloween party, and hers is it just went around like a regular scarf. And I looked and I'm like, wait, what? I didn't send you mine because I was so terrified that you were going to be ages ahead of me, and I was just so far behind. But I worked my butt off. It might have been 18 feet. Anyhow, it was very long, and I worked my butt off, and it looks great. Love that scarf. It's a little bit, wibbly wobbly, but it has heart and soul. What do I love about Doctor Who? Well, Doctor Who, to me, is the perfect story. It has everything that I could ever want in a story in it. It has adventure, romance, aliens, space, mystery, history, literature, art. It's just fantastic. And there's so much more. There's every aspect of life that you could possibly want in this one story, which is really awesome. Recently got into podcasting and listening to them on my SkyTrain to work, so it's been really helpful to pass time and also to work through mindless spreadsheets, which sometimes happens. And I found this podcast for Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's called Dusted by Story Wonk. Unfortunately, the couple has split up, so they have their own separate podcast now. One is Chipperish, and one is Point North Media. But I started with them with Dusted before they split up, and oh my gosh, the way that they did it, it was just so literary. It was so almost like school. It had a cool pizzazz to it. I don't know, it just drew me right in, and I like it when it has kind of a structure. There was kind of a structure to their podcasts where they would talk a little bit about it, where the episode came from, and then they would go beat by beat through the podcast. And then they would do fun things at the end of each season, vote on everyone's favorite character or favorite episode and all these things. So it was really interesting. I really enjoyed that, and I am going to kind of steal their format. Sorry, guys. I I love that format, and I'm going to try to do that with my podcast. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, I am open to change, so if you guys feel like you want anything changed, just let me know. I'm totally up for it. I have no problem being flexible. I guess this leads right into what my plan is for this podcast. So I am thinking that I will do a podcast, so once a week. I will do one episode at a time, and every end of season I will do like a kind of celebratory time of the season. So like we'll do fan polls, we'll do all those sort of things and kind of shake it up, have a little bit of a fun episode. Also, we can go over the general themes of the year or the season, and the general themes of what's come across, like all that sort of stuff. Lots of fun. Again, my format is going to be very beat by beat throughout the episode. What's happened, characters. I hate to say it, but guys, there's going to be spoilers. I can't hold in my thoughts. So, if you haven't watched Doctor Who, I'm sorry, there's going to be slight spoilers. I'll try not to be too crazy with them, but I will likely forget if I don't mention the things that happen as they come across. So, that to me is important. Yeah, that's kind of my overview. I am really excited to start this podcast, and I really hope that you guys enjoy it just as I am going to enjoy it. I'm rewatching Doctor Who, Series 1, Episode 1, again, or not again, but I want to mention that I haven't had a chance to catch all the classic Doctor Who yet, and I really think I have enough of a inventory here to not worry too much about it. So I'm going to start with just the new series, starting in 2005, and maybe in a few seasons I can add in some classic. They've took it off Netflix, so it's really unfortunate. It's hard to get a hold of everything, but I am really excited, and I love Doctor Who, and I hope you guys all enjoy. So tune in for next week's podcast, which will be Series 1, Episode 1, Rose, where Rose, Tyler, and the Doctor meet for the first time. Lovely Billie Piper and Christopher Eccleston. I'm super excited to go over it with you guys. So yeah, thank you so much. Ciao for now.